Alright, how's it going, everyone? Thanks again for returning to World Within Worlds. Man, today I'm excited. We have the teaser trailer coming in for the next Mortal Kombat game. Should be tomorrow morning at I believe 8 Central. And yeah, man, the MK game is right around the corner. So let's talk about some of my excitement. I want to talk about why I chose to custom make this Onaga figure. By the way, the wings are on the side. I'll show them in a second. And the MK game is right around the corner, so let's go. All right, so I want to talk about briefly on some of the love that went behind making this custom. And then I want to talk about why I think Onaga needs a return in either this next upcoming Mortal Kombat game or the one to follow. So, as I basically said already, this is Onaga. If you played the some of the older games in the 3D era, then you're very familiar with him. He is the Dragon King, who has yet to have a figure. Now, I actually made this figure um, several months back. Having little issues. Hold on one second. I actually made this figure several months back, and it was okay. I did a rush because I was excited I was able to get a good deal from a friend on this Gargoyles, NECA Gargoyles figure. And in my head, I already knew I was like, that's the perfect body to make an Onaga figure. But I just didn't know how I was going to make it yet. So once I got it in hand, I kind of let my excitement get the best of me and I kind of rushed through it. I didn't really take my time. I didn't also didn't know of other different ways to prevent um, paint rub and how to have a more outstanding figure. So returning back to it months later, I never made the armor for the figure. So originally, I was just like, I want to go back to this figure, make his armor, make his cloth, and everything else. Because basically, all I did was take the Gargoyle NECA figure, I painted him green, and I added scales. You can still see some on the legs, and I had it all on the chest as well. So it was a repaint, and it was okay, but it did its job. But there was nothing really special I did to it other than just repainting it. Um, well, first. Let me talk about why I like this figure and thought it was perfect. He already has the hind leg, like Onaga has. Now Onaga has hooves, but I like the dragon, more dragon-esque feet because he's supposed to be the Dragon King. So to me, it made more sense. Plus, I'm not sure personally how I feel about a hooved action figure on my shelf. I guess it doesn't really matter, but he already had the huge, body physique when it comes to just all the muscles on him and things like that. That monstrous face, kind of hard to see in there right now. Yeah, you know, yeah, the few fingers. Now Naga has 3 fingers total, and well, this Onaga has 4. Now, and he also had the tail and the wings. So to me, I was like, this is literally an easy custom because Onaga has tails, wings, hoof, I mean, hind legs, and yeah, hoof feet. Um, so it seemed fairly easy. But overall, I was not satisfied with the first way I made this figure. There was just so much to it missing, so much more to it I could have done. And so I decided to, like I said, go back to it and basically start from the bottom again. So this is going to be a two-part video. In the second video, you're going to actually see the process because I recorded a lot of my work. You're going to see the process over it. But right now, I'm just going to showcase the figure itself in its complete form and talk about the new things I did, the old things I didn't like that I did. And then the next video, we're going to actually discuss some background on Onaga and his lore. And well, I just think he's a phenomenal character and everything surrounding him. I really do think that the team that Ed Boon works with, or multiple teams that he's worked with throughout his career, are really just phenomenal people. And that his brain, I don't know how much exactly he came up with each character or not, but his brain is just really unique as well. So, all right, enough of that. Getting back onto this figure. So, his wings are right here. They're also repainted. Now, I actually don't have them on right now because I don't really like these wings, and I plan on making him some real wings, if you will. I plan on taking the specific cloth that I have in mind, Actually, I'll show you a glimpse of this Medusa figure I've been working on. She's not complete, but this material, cloth-like material, has this kind of scale, bumpy feel to it. So I plan on using something like that for his wings and using this hard, thick, bendy wire, I guess you could say. It's not really a wire, but it's more like a rod, but it bends and goes back to shape. That way I can fold his wings in and out like I would like. And it's the same thickness as this hole, these holes back here for his original wings. Maybe a little bit smaller, but that's something I can work with. Now, there are a lot of, well, there's not a lot. There are a few toy companies out there making Mortal Kombat figures. You have Diamond Select making the statues, McFarlane making Mortal Kombat 11 figures, and then, oh, helmet's all crooked. Then you have Storm Collectibles who've been coming out making bangers like this Goro back here. But they really stick to the older game. Except for the new Goro that's supposed to come out, it's supposed to be MKX Goro, so that's pretty unique. But anyway, those are great companies, and they all have their ups and downs to them, but neither one of them are doing enough for me. And there's nothing bad about the companies. I mean, they're out there, they're making their money, they're doing their thing. But for me and my hunger for more and more Mortal Kombat figures, I've just been kind of, going back and forth making. I make more custom Mortal Kombat figures than I do any other figures. As you see back here, I have my custom Sindel. Bring it to the front. Too much light. Well, anyway, I completely repainted her skin tone, but it's really hard to see. I'm gonna get my light better, my light game better in future videos. But yeah, she was a Wonder Woman figure that I completely repainted. I repainted her skin tone. Took off a lot of armor and cloth and repainted her up and made her staff, her iconic staff from one of the older Mortal Kombat games. And you see it in MK11 as well. And I repainted her hair to be this white and black. That's one of my favorite customs. But Onaga might have just taken the lead. I made a custom Shinnok, and yes, you can probably tell it's from a Raiden figure. But I took off the helmet and sculpted this headpiece that Shinnok has, painted his skin white, and repainted his whole body. It's decent. And then some of my older Mortal Kombat figures that I've customized is Cyrax. This is a wrestling figure that scaled pretty nicely with the 7-inch line. Um, this is it's a Kano figure. It's all right. It's definitely not my best. I definitely have gotten a lot better. This is like my first year ever making custom figures. And then recently I did this Jax figure, which was fun, but it low key reminds me of like my Kano job, where it's like I feel like it could have been a lot better. So I actually have something cooking for that to make a better Jax figure, and I'll probably make this into something else. Because he looks okay. He just looks more cartoony, and body proportions are a little extreme. I think it kind of works perfect for this Kano over here and for my 5-inch Quan Chi. But again, back on another. So yeah, like I said, I'm hungry for my own figures. I don't think they make enough women, or like any women Mortal Kombat figures. We've just had Katana. That's why I went and made my own Sindel, and I've made my own Melina as well. They don't really make enough monsters, like the Dragon King himself, Onaga. They don't have any black Mortal Kombat figures out yet, except for if you go way back to the early 2000s. And I think that 3-inch or 4-inch line, there's a Jax. So yeah, I made my own Cyrax, and I'm planning on making my own Jax again. So that type of hunger right there of wanting to fill up my shelf drove me to this. But like I said, it had to be right. I couldn't just put anything on there. That's why I don't really qualify this Kano anymore as something I'm proud of, but rather something I can't wait to replace. So, as you see, I painted his claws. I kind of went for a more bone color, same color that I painted this top piece on his helmet. And this I had to create the color for. I had to mix several colors to get this bone-like color. Again, sorry for the light; it's hard to see. I completely made this helmet. Um, well, I kind of kit bashed it and sculpted. I sculpted this piece on that goes on around the eyes and the horns. I took this. I created this ponytail from the original hair from this gargoyle figure. If you're familiar with it, it's just a long piece of hair, and I snipped off the edges to it, boiled it, recurled it, and then like kind of melted a hole inside the helmet. Yeah, so I got his ponytail working. I sculpted out this armor as well, his shoulder pad armor. Now I wasn't paying attention. His shoulder pad armors are actually more pointy. I wasn't paying attention to I sculpted and baked it already. Then I had this like rope material, kind of like rope material that was to an old bracelet, and I found a little gem for the iconic green gem that he has on his chest. Now I didn't paint this gem because I like the way it shines, so just gonna leave it like that. This is a actual cloth material, two-layered, burned and tethered to look old. A dollar store little skeleton glued on there, painted up, shin guards, and then you'll see tomorrow on the behind the scenes, if you will, how I made these wrist and arm guards as well, using two old armor pieces, one from an old Raiden figure or a McFarlane Raiden figure, and one from a McFarlane Scorpion figure. Yes, extra hands. I painted all those as well. I did not paint the joints because I feel like that's kind of a waste of time because it's just gonna get paint rub, go through a lot of paint rub and things like that. And that's another thing. So when I started with this figure, I know I'm kind of all over the place, but when I started again with this figure, I boiled it down. I broke apart all the limbs, body parts, his torso in like two or three different parts, and I went through and vigorously drilled and dremeled down a lot of the joints in the areas where paint would rub, so that I didn't have to deal with that in the future. So now when I go back and paint through and I'm moving the joints and stuff, you see barely any or little to none at all paint rub. You see a little right here on the ankles. If I stretch it out, hold on. Let me see if I can get this camera view on the feet. You can see right there by the toe. But that's like one of the only spots I see on this whole figure. So me going back through and taking my time and just, drumming down all the joints was a huge change up for my overall satisfaction of this figure now. Now I just love this figure. There's nothing that I'm not pleased with. This helmet turned out a lot better than I thought. And let me show you how I made this helmet. So when Buzz Lightyear, let's see on my drawers for my custom. When the Buzz Lightyear movie came out last year, there were these figures that came in a 4 or 5 pack, and they all had these helmets, these space helmets. And as you see, they're hollow on the inside. And I kept the helmets, and I gave the figures to my son. And I was just like, later I'm gonna use these helmets for some. And that's exactly what I did here. I cut it open right there, down the middle. Opened it up. It was already hollow on the inside, and I drilled away the eyepieces and stuff like that. And yeah, that gave me the base of the helmet. Then I sculpted this armory piece back here. That reminds me a lot of like samurai Japanese armory headsets. I think that's what it was inspired from. And I just looked at a lot of pictures and took my time trying to get as much detail as I could versus, like I said, rushing it like before. So yeah, man, I ended up coming up with something I absolutely love now. I don't know if this is my favorite, absolute favorite custom yet. I think Sindel still is. Oop, well, if he had his wings on, he might have flown. I think Sindel still is my favorite. Um, it's hard to see, but there's a lot of paint detail and stuff like that. And overall, I think she just came out really cool looking. But I need a better camera, clearly, and better light. But yeah, Onaga is definitely up there as one of my favorite. And now, kind of showcasing all these, you'll see why this Jax just isn't it for me. I was having a lot of fun, but it's just not it for me. So anyway, that's all I wanted to showcase. Also to give a size comparison, show him next to Goro. But yeah, in the next video, part two, like I said, I am going to go over for my writers and my lore enthusiasts and lovers. I'm gonna go over the lore and the history behind Onaga. Not really the history, because I'm sure a lot of people know it, but basically just what I think is so unique about his character. and the writing that they put in it. See, fairly big. I don't recall Onaga being bigger than Goro, so I think this is a perfect size for me. Especially his wingspan. Oh, hold on. I should probably back the camera up, huh? Now, I promise I wasn't having this many issues with the balance of the figure until I try to get it on camera. I'm sure there's other people that can relate. See, all right. Yeah, I don't remember him being this big. I mean, being taller than Goro, so I actually think this is a perfect height. And his wingspan is ridiculous. And like I said, I plan on making real wings for him so I can fold them, and I think he'll give a more realistic kind of awesome appeal overall. Add a more awesomeness to his aesthetic. So yeah, in the next video, we're gonna talk about kind of this dude's lore and just again why I think it's so awesome and what I think we have to look forward to in the next Mortal Kombat game. I'm really hoping they revamp this character again and bring him back. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoy this video, and there's more to come tomorrow. And for all my Mortal Kombat fans, get excited, man. Hope you're paying attention to Twitter. They said we're getting a new teaser tomorrow. Said tomorrow is the day that we get to see what's coming next for Mortal Kombat. All right, talk to y'all later. Be blessed. Have a good day.